Detection Collaborative, a detection dog training trio with Stacy Barnett.
Hi.
Robin Greubel.
Hey there.
And Crystal Wing.
What's up?
With humor and a big dose of theory, our trio talks practical training advice and features interviews with top trainers and scientists. It's Canine Detection Collaborative.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Canine Detection Collaborative. I'm Robin Greubel, and I am here with my super stupendous co-hosts, Crystal Wing.
Howdy, friends.
And Stacy Barnett.
Hello.
This is the time of year where we have to do the where are you in the planet. So Robin's in her basement in Iowa. Stacy, where are you?
I'm in the Handler house in Iowa, and I've been in Iowa for a while.
Right.
How long have you been there?
I've been here since middle of March. So that would be April, May, June, 3 months.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she's almost taken up residency, but not quite.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. And then Crystal, where are you?
I am currently at the FDSA ranch in Petaluma, California. Denise Lindsay's amazing place. And I got to teach a seminar out here, and now I'm doing private lessons. And we just had the most amazing bitey weekend. Joaquim Duva came in, and it was incredible. Sarah Rita from New Zealand and Shade Weitzel and Sophie Liu was here. Like, I just feel like I'm surrounded by all-stars. I went from going to Muscatatuck, where I'm like around, I was teasing instead of saying all stars, all SARS.
Which, yes.
Because for real, how am I so lucky to be surrounded by the greats? And I'm so overwhelmed with this adventure that I'm on, because the fun part is I early retired. And the day that I retired, I left to go to Muscatatuck. And then I left from Muscatatuck to come here. And if this is life, don't wake me up.
We told you you're going to have fun.
Oh, dude. I don't know if I can keep handling this much fun. Like, it's pretty outstanding. So I'm in Petaluma, California.
Joaquim, how do you say his last name?
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of blurred through it because I'm not sure.
Okay, because that was not how it was said in my head.
Okay, we all mess up his first name. So some people call him Jojo.
Oh, okay. So it's Jojo.
Because it's just easier.
Okay. So that's fine.
Yeah. I think it's Joaquim. The first name I think is Joaquim, but I'm probably wrong. And I apologize, because he's amazing and I should know how to say his name. But everybody says it differently.
Well, and it's funny. He's one of those people that I have never met him, but I know you fangirl over him and other people fangirl over him because of bitey dog stuff.
He's incredible. He's just smooth as butter. He's a decoy for several sports, and watching him work a dog, he is so good at building dogs and so good at adapting to every single person. We have to put him on a 15-minute timer, and every team gets 2 rounds. And what we started doing was playing a theme song for each person. And then we would progressively make it louder and louder and louder. And by the end of the song, if they weren't done, we were taking time out of next sessions, and we were like, okay, this is crazy. He gives and gives and gives. He is just such a kind, educational person. And so that was a pretty cool experience. And I've got to see him now several times. And I would say he's my mentor on doing bite sports for Mondio Ring, him and Keys. And so that's a pretty outstanding pair to learn from.
Fantastic. Okay, people, for this episode, we are basically doing a what have we been up to, because we've been running all over the country, having puppies. Well, we haven't been having puppies, but the dogs have been having puppies, raising puppies, training puppies. Crystal's been running all over the planet. And so literally, it's just kind of hey, this is what we're doing. Plus, we wanted to talk about some of the really cool stuff that happened at Muscatatuck, plus what Crystal's doing out at FDSA. And just for everyone who can't see, Stacy is currently trying to wrangle her puppy.
Yes, I'm trying to wrestle a 10-week-old Labrador retriever puppy who is just like, oh, he's giving me kisses on my lips. Oh my God, he's like cute and like exasperating all at the same time. I would have him in his crate. He's actually very good in the crate, except he gets a little bit of extra, oh, mom is talking and she's not talking to me and I'm going to make a lot of noise. So I'm just trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to do this tonight. But he's absolutely adorable otherwise.
And I'm sitting here watching her do this and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to eat the cords.
Oh yeah, no, he is a massive cord magnet. And I'm just sitting here and she's like, well, poor Lan can watch him. I'm like, well, you've already pawned off your puppy on the intern.
Yeah, because I have two.
Like, I don't have an intern.
Yes, because this is how my world works. Because when dogs decide to come into heat, you breed them, right?
Right. Well, luckily we did, though.
Yes. And so if you guys missed the update, both Prize and Flair came into heat literally days apart and had their puppies days apart. And it was a difficult pregnancy for Prize. It was an easy pregnancy for Flair. Both of them had difficulties giving birth. So we ended up with 2 emergency C-sections. And then Prize ended up being very, very sick.
Yeah. She had a horrible infection because she had
How long was she on meds? Wasn't it like a month?
5 weeks of massive antibiotics. So we ended up having to pull her puppies because one of the medications, Baytril, is not safe for nursing puppies. So we ended up having to pull her puppies. And luckily, Flair had just had puppies. So Flair ended up raising her puppies and Prize's puppies. Well, we spent the rest of the time, like I lost track of how many vet visits I did with Prize, who, spoiler alert, thankfully she's healthy again and stuff like that, because that was really scary. She was very sick. So, but she's okay now.
And passed a certification.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I did an extra certification because, like, why not?
Yeah. Because when you have somebody coming to pick up a puppy who's a certified official, you just throw a extra certification in there.
Yeah. Like, why not?
Yeah.
So now, we added a NASAR type 2 area search certification. She was already certified through Pennsylvania Search and Rescue Council for AirScent. So this way she's certified now with 2 organizations. So we did that. So she did that, I think, like 8 weeks after she gave birth.
Yeah.
9 weeks or something like that. Yeah. Because now the puppies are 10 and
well, that's because
old.
She pawned all her puppies off on Flair.
Right. Well, yeah, Yes. So Flair,
had a lot of pawning happen over there.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. She was just like, the funny thing is like once she healed up and we allowed her to, the weaned puppies, she decided she loves puppies. So here she is rolling around on the floor with like puppies, like all over, like on top of her. She's just in her glory. Like she wanted to be a mom. She just couldn't be, but she's healthy. That's the important thing. But it was extremely stressful for me. And we ended up with 3 beautiful puppies. Robin kept one, I kept one. And then there's one in a wonderful home in Ohio who's going to be a search and rescue dog. So
Stacy didn't believe me. She was like, how can you let these adorable little things go?
Oh, I understand now.
And I said, just wait. And I'm like, because they are shitbirds.
At 7 weeks old, you're like, go, fly.
Come get them.
Take them. Come get them. Come get them.
Yes, I believe, actually, I started referring. So Mako is actually from Catalyst Kennels. He's 14 and a half weeks. He's freaking brilliant.
Yeah, because then Robin got another puppy.
Because that female came into heat like 4 weeks before ours and she wasn't supposed to come in till heat later, but who knows what Mother Nature was thinking. So I started referring to him as a shit monster. So they've upgraded from shit birds to shit monsters. I don't think that counts as a swear word, does it?
I think it does. We'll just be.
Darn. I think we might have just hit the explicit.
It became such a embedded in our vernacular.
It did.
That I think at that point, when it becomes the actual part of your language, I think it's no longer a swear word.
Right? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I think so.
It was literally the amount of bleep today was unreal. And then you throw in there Muscatatuck. And fortunately, we had, Laurel Ann, who is my intern, who is amazing.
Yes, she is.
I can't wait to meet her.
She's
you'll
lovely.
love her.
And then Aiden, who came from Wisconsin and watched the puppies while we all went to Muscatatuck.
Yes.
And came with some, the amount of fun that they had with creating exercise stuff for the puppies was epic.
Yeah.
So Muscatatuck was a lot of fun this year.
It was a lot of fun this year. Oh, he's trying to get Y to play with him. Yeah, keep trying, buddy.
I would be interested because I was teaching and I will say that the teams this year at Muscatatuck were fantastic. And we had some very, very nice venues. And I would be interested to hear what you guys, Crystal, I know you were running around taking a lot of pictures because you have a super cool, fabulous new camera.
Yeah, I went crazy. I didn't want to have to go back to the camera store.
Oh my God, your photos are gorgeous.
Thanks. And I've been using an old DSLR camera and learning on that for quite a while. And I finally upgraded to a pro level camera. And it really made a big difference because I'm able to start capturing the things that are in my mind. Because, teaching art for 23 years, it's like I understand composition and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I never had the tool that could capture what I wanted to actually express. So it was cool getting that first experience. But I literally opened my camera on the first day of the thing.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I didn't. I'm like, okay, this is all new. It's mirrorless.
Wow.
You seriously, you got those photos? Wow.
Yeah, I know how to take photos and I know how to use a camera. So just a matter of learning that camera. It's kind of like I had an experience up here where I was going to drive my van and Denise is like, no, just take the car. And I get in the car and I'm like, I don't know how to start it. I'm like, where's the key? And she told me where the key was. And it's this little box. And I'm like, so I go running back over to her car because I'm supposed to follow her to the mechanic. I'm like, I don't know how to use this key. And she's like, you push the button. Because I'm like, that's not a key. Like, I only have old cars. She's like, no, push the button on the dash. So I get in there and I'm like, push the button. And then there's no gear shifter. So I'm like fumbling around trying to find the gear shifter. There's no gear shifter. It's buttons. And I finally figured out as she's like walking to the car. And I'm like, no, I'm finding this before she gets here.
Oh, that's funny.
It's kind of that same feeling where it's like, I've driven a car for 30 years, but you just have to learn the new ways of doing it with that new tool. So it was really fun kind of throughout the day, getting better at it and learning new things as I went. So that was a cool experience. And what my favorite thing is getting to share the photos and just seeing so many happy people that are like, I don't have photos of my dog and me working, or I don't have them in this kind of environment, and I know those photos that I cherish so much that people have taken to my dogs. Like Sarah Brewski has taken some amazing photos of my dog that I will forever cherish. Like I look at them all the time in my little happy folder. So to be a little piece of people is just, that's magical. So that was a really cool experience for me. And then I get to watch all of the teams. I get to, to watch every single team at least at one drill. And then I get to go watch them in rubble and other areas. And the quality of the teams, I had to speak to that. We did a roundtable on Sunday and there was that chance. Robin always says, like, what do you guys think? Give us some ahas or oh shits. Since we're saying shit a lot, it's all good.
Yeah, we've already
we've already surpassed. We'll just have Zach. I'll just put an explicit on it or something.
So is it three times you said the word shit, or is it one word?
No, we've passed it.
I was hoping it was a per word basis, not a
no.
So it was nice to be able to share at the roundtable of being able to say, like, you guys, the quality of the teams, the thoughtfulness and the advocacy that the teams had for the dogs was outstanding. Like I don't know, like how many years I've been doing it now, but just in that short time, to see, I think what I loved, I saw great reinforcement because, that's my thing. I love that a lot. And I saw them being thoughtful about their arousal levels of the dog. So they weren't sending them out when they're all crazy. Like they're focusing their dog. They're sending them for the task. They're rewarding them in a way that the dog finds actually reinforcing to build more drive to go do the thing again. And the instruction. Oh, holy balls. Like you put together an amazing crew. I mean, that was top notch. So I would love to give a chance to like shout out to all the instructors that were there. So if you want to take that on, I would love that.
Yeah. My instructors. So I had Joe Huxell and Dina Haney. They are from the West Coast. They're out from Washington State. Christy Rock and Robin Houston, who are from Kansas City area. And then Diana Bunch, who is from Florida. Those were and myself are like it's funny I say lead instructors, and then I have assistant instructors, which if people can't see it, but it's like little air quotes, because the quality of the assistant instructors is ridiculously crazy.
My gosh, yes.
Yeah. So Lisa Kakavas from Pennsylvania, Sherry Kenton from Florida, Melody Wilkinson from Florida, Natalie Runge from Minnesota, and Caitlin Graham from the East Coast, and then Chelsea Gill from Indiana. I think that was everybody. That was everybody, right?
Yeah, you had 6.
Right.
You did good. And then all the help and support.
Oh my gosh. And my helpers this year specifically, because when you show up to Muscatatuck, what happens is you kind of show up and it's like the rules of war. You get there, you know what you're getting to a certain extent. And then all of a sudden, Grizzly Ops is like, hey, no, we're changing this. And you're like, got it.
Go with the flow.
And so our whole base of operations had to change on where we did all of our meals and everything, which was actually quite nice because it put it right across the street from the barracks, but we had to truck meals. So a huge shout out to Samantha Winslow and Kayla Deaver and Alyssa Ferry. We could not have done it without them. She had so many side quests, it wasn't even funny. And Stacy, who even though she was a student, was also side questing as part of being a student. And so, between the instructors and the support staff, we have about 17 people who are instructors and support staff that are running around making everything happen for 60 students. And it's plus all of the other behind the scenes stuff that ends up happening. And then, of course, I have everything catered in because if you're going to do an all-inclusive seminar, I do an all-inclusive seminar where it's catered. So
yeah, it was good.
It was really good. We had a lot of food. I haven't quite figured out what the magic thing is for telling the caterer. If you're in the Indianapolis area and you need a good caterer, holy cow, Cedar Creek
they were good.
Catering is fantastic. But the exciting thing is I had been doing it every other year. I've scheduled dates for 2026.
Woo woo!
Woohoo! Yep. So we're going to do it again. We're going to book out some different venues. So we'll have some different venues than we had this year. Hopefully some places people don't get to see very often. So it'll be fun. I'll probably, by the time this goes live, be able to announce dates.
Nice.
So that's exciting. Yeah.
So you were pretty adamant about doing it every other year. And I know we have an instructor group that we were kind of messaging back and forth, and they were putting a lot of pressure on you because it's such a magical place for all of us to get together and train together and brainstorm together. What pushed you to do this? Because it's a lot of work.
One of the things that I did this year that I hadn't done in previous years is I made attendees, in order to get their certificates of completion or attendance, they actually had to fill out a by instructor, by station form giving feedback.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And which I haven't shared it with the instructors yet. For anybody who's wondering, I whitewash it so that the instructors don't know who is giving what feedback. So nobody can throw rocks. But the number of people who said that this was a transformational type of seminar for them made me really realize that this is something that was unique and I wanted to be able to offer again. And with this group of instructors and some of the other relationship I have going on with the caterer and some of those things, it's really starting to become plug and play. So yes, it's difficult. Yes, I'm gone from the farm for almost a week because people may not know this, but I drive out and most of the instructors arrive the day and a half prior, and we spend the entire day prior to students even showing up, setting up and thinking about the scenarios and problems we're setting out so that by time we start training on that Thursday, everything's been thought out and a dog has probably ran through the station at least once so that we know how the scent theory's presenting. So everything is so well thought out. Plus, it was just one of those things where it provides a great learning opportunity. And we were very, very lucky this year to be able to get access to a whole body for students. That is a crucial opportunity for handlers to get their dogs on that type of a really specimen. Is. Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I'm lucky enough to have access to other specimens to be able to do that. And one of the nice things, depending on how we end up being able to do things, I know one year, Crystal, you had students make odor soaks, little clay pieces.
Yeah, that was cool. Since I was a ceramics teacher, I stamped the Canine Census logo onto small little rounds, and then we soaked those to give to the students in little Mylar bags.
Right. And then unbeknownst to me this year, Chelsea had a fantastic idea and had taken our donor, Randall was his name, and he had been wrapped in a blanket. And so she and actually Kayla and Sam, and I think Stacy helped, and Alyssa maybe cut up the blanket.
Oh no, I didn't cut up the blanket. I just helped move
him
around.
Yes.
Times. Yeah.
Because everything is secured every night because we take that security very seriously. So all of the aides are removed and locked up overnight.
Yeah.
Including him. All the students were lucky enough to go home with odor soaks from him as well.
I've been super lucky because being out here in California, I didn't have a freezer to take. So I've been using that as the main source to be training Radish this week. So the last couple of weeks. So I was super thankful for that. So thank you guys for setting that up.
Yeah. I'm excited for next year will be fun. I have some other new source that we will be able to use that will be fantastic.
And so when you're looking at feedback from students, when they're saying transformational, what do you think caused that? Like, what did you hear? Like, or were there any specifics that you could kind of think about?
Some of it was the conversations that the instructors had with students because of the scent theory problems that we were setting up. And with the amount of experience that these instructors and assistant instructors have, being able to talk handlers through recognizing change of behavior and understanding how to talk them through not just waiting for their trained final response. Because one of the things that has happened in the industry is there is so much, and you guys have heard me preach about this, and I'm probably fairly well known for requiring a very, very strong train of final response. There's reasons for that, and we could go into it. But as an operational level handler, you also have to recognize that not every time you're going to get your trained final response. And every single one of these instructors understands that and understands how to read change of behavior. And it was fascinating to be able to talk handlers through. Can you see this? Can you see that? How the hides were set. And, this is one of the things that I was super excited to set up my little station. And I had been helping between the distraction camp, intentional handling, and hide setting last year, and some of the stuff Stacy and I were setting up. And I had a student out here going through her academy intensive and who was working on converging hides. I started thinking about how to set up diffuse converging hides with inaccessible and one accessible for people in my station. And then how do you explain the scent theory to students on hides that by the time we're done, even though I pull them every day, I would leave stuff there that the odor had been sitting on or around. And so we're talking, this odor's been out there for 3 days by time we're done. When else do you get a chance to work that until you come to my place?
Yeah.
So just reading those examples from people that was really important for them to be able to have somebody who could talk them through being able to read their dog. When can their dog hear them? When can they not? Those sorts of things. That became really important for me on making that decision.
And Stacy, how was your experience as a student?
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was amazing. Price can work large source. And we work large source really because even though she's an air scent dog, she's extremely literal with her odor. And when you deploy in the areas where my team works out of, which is in the wilderness and everything, right? You don't know if your subject's going to be alive. You hope they're going to be, but because Prize is so literal with her odor, my biggest fear is to miss her recently deceased humans. So I've been working large source with her really for the past year. So I attended, and all the source that we were using on the weekend during the seminar was large source, and she did beautifully. She really kind of blew me out of the water. I was really just so proud of my dog, and learned a ton, got a chance to work a lot of different scent theory problems, got a chance to expose her to a large body, a full body, which honestly, I think is essential for air scent dogs. And air scent dogs don't really get that opportunity. Sometimes cadaver dogs get, but if you think about it, if you're deploying an air scent wilderness dog, you really need them to be exposed to that. And in my case, I want to make sure that she's going to respond and tell me about it. So it was a really great opportunity and excellent educational opportunity. I felt supported. I felt it was really, really fabulous.
Well, and Stacy, one of the reasons I strongly support that is there was a deployment here in Iowa where I deployed Moses, live fine dog. And I was also doing management, search team planning at that point, and I was tasking teams. And I actually tasked Moses and I to one of the lower probability areas because they thought she was a suicidal walkaway, but they didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
And it turns out that the person was actually deceased. And I don't know if Moses would have told me about it. I might have been able to read his body language, but we found her, not the teams found her.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, when my dog's working, most of the time I don't see her.
Right.
I may see her on GPS or I hear the bell, but I'm not going to see the change of behavior. And unless she really responds to it, and because I also know how, if she says, no, that's not my odor, she doesn't even have generally a change of behavior, I could very well miss somebody. And when you see the family there at command waiting, that just, because if your dog isn't exposed to that, so I feel very strongly that, and it does not make her an HRD dog. It is just literally is a dog that will respond to a recently deceased human if he or she is in the area. Because like I said, you don't know. You hope the person's alive. You go out assuming the person's alive.
I've seen people work water cases where they're recently drowned subjects and they're running water dogs up until a certain point. And I can't even remember. I've been to a lot of places this spring. So I can't remember if it was at the Joint Symposium for Working Dogs where we were having this conversation. It might have been Katie Lynn Sloan, where we were having the discussion about when is dead dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't remember where that was. And there is like a vague line that happens.
Well, I think we were talking to Lauren DeGrief back in the day too, in one of the early episodes.
I think so.
There's a little bit, and some of it has to do with how fresh can cadaver dogs actually get access to source, which is a challenge.
Yeah.
And then when do cadaver live fine dogs draw the line? And we don't really know the answer. And so it's just very interesting.
I mean, you look at like the study that you were involved in, right, where they were trying to figure out what aspect of the human scent are the disaster dogs responding to, and they found out their breath.
Yeah, respiration. Right.
Right. So you think that, and then I did listened in on an amazing webinar today. I think it was by Suncoast Forensics.
Yes.
On stages of human decomposition. And some of what they were talking about was like literally within, like, there are physiological changes in the human body within 15 minutes. So, and then when you start taking into consideration temperature and all that kind of good stuff, I mean, we really can't say, I mean, you deploy and, let's say the person's been gone for 2 days. Well, what if they've been deceased for all 2 days?
Right.
But you're still hoping to find them alive. I mean, it's something I feel strongly about. And to see the understanding of my dog was actually pretty amazing. She blows my mind. There she was, like, only not very long after having puppies.
Okay. So I'm going to ask both of you, what was your favorite aha moment or favorite station or favorite scent theory problem from the weekend? And what was the thing that your dog taught you very glaringly, obviously?
It's easy for me. So Radish got to do some of the instructor training, and I was very thankful for that and had some really amazing eyes on myself and my dog. And I was still in a very, very stressed state, like shoulders in my ears. I told Natalie when I saw her, I said, you're not getting a hug from me because I will just start crying. I was so raw from early retirement and all the things that go with that. And I know it's for you, but that's a big change to do 23 years of something and not know what's next. And I was very raw. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of May is already a really hard month at school, and then trying to close everything up and get the next person ready. And then realizing that you're kind of the big wig in the area in your department and in your school. And you're trying to turn everything over and you realize how much stuff you're doing. So that's where I was. So I think it's important to kind of put that out there. And Radish can't handle me when I'm like that. She's very pressure sensitive. And this has been such an amazing learning experience for me, because when I'm putting all that pressure on myself, it's going on her. And for her to be that sensitive of a dog to me, it taught me a very valuable lesson. And then I've been able to carry that lesson now to everybody else. Like in the last seminars that I was just doing, I did 4 different seminars here. And then even some of the people there at Muscatatuck, it was like, you're putting so much pressure on yourself and that's impacting your dog. And so what a beautiful lesson. So that was an aha for me. And I wasn't able to completely pull my head out of my,
you know what?
I can just say it, out of my ass.
Yeah, we're already explicit. We're fine.
We're
already there.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. As the weekend went, I was able to relax more and put more of myself into her and deal with my issues more. And I did see her start to be more of the dog that I know that she can be. And since being here in California, my shoulders are out of my ears, and you wouldn't believe the amount of progress that we have made. she's a new dog. It's the coolest
Yay.
thing to see. So that's mine. And what was your second one?
Favorite scent theory problem from the weekend?
I hung out at the disaster alley quite a bit. And I really think it was the elevated one that Dina had. And that was probably my favorite part too, was walking with them through all of the scenarios that they were coming up with. We spent the whole day just planning where this was going to go and watching them work together as a team. And it was really fascinating to hear why they're putting it in one space and not another. And the one problem, you could work it from downstairs and from upstairs.
That's amazing.
It was really awesome to watch how the dogs could respond to that. And it's one source, but two different problems, and how they adjusted it for each of the teams at whatever level they were at. And so it had voids to jump over. It had elevated to really get up there. And I really appreciated how they could adjust it to any team, any handler, any size of dog, because some of the smaller dogs blew me away. Like, they're jumping over the ravines and these like gaps that are like 20 feet tall, and then you've got these other bigger dogs that are like, oh, can't do that. And Dina just has such a way. She's just such a kind spirit. And she makes everyone just feel like you're just supported. Like, it's just a warm hug the whole time, but it's also in such an educational way. And so I loved her way about that. So I would say that was probably the one that really I appreciated a lot. I took a lot of photos there because it was just, I loved watching them work. I wanted to see more.
So one was just actually was like the whole reason for me to go. And I feel really great about that. And the other one I thought was just really kind of awesome. So the fact that, my whole thing of not wanting to miss somebody, right? So having the whole body there was huge. And we did a scenario, right, where you would work the outside of actually it was a downwind building. So we had a downwind building, and the full body was in the upwind building. And Prize was definitely an odor and was showing me diffuse odor behavior on the downwind building and giving like these really cool head sweeps on the outside of the building, which told me that there was odor, but it wasn't close by. And then in between the buildings and in the patio, but it was very clear to me to be able to say, okay, it's not this building. We need to move upstream. Clearly it wasn't blind or anything, but I could definitely read that behavior. So, when we got onto the correct patio, she did indicate at the door, and I was really happy with that. And she ended up by the end of the station being able to do her full train final response. And when she was exposed to the full body. And that is, to me, is such a big checkbox for her and her development and for my comfort in being able to make sure that we are as prepared and that we are as highly trained as possible to go out in the field and to help find the lost and hopefully bring them home alive. But I just want to make sure that we're well trained. So that felt really good. Helped me increase my confidence in my dog. The other part that felt really good was, oh my goodness, I was at the school working with Christy, and we go outside and we're going to work school buses, right? So there was some source in the back of one of the school buses. And Christy said, I'm just going to go over there and take a video. So she's going to go video. She walks off, and I release Prize, who then proceeds to do a refind on Christy. And I'm like, okay.
What a good girl.
No, good girl, right? I thought it was just kind of funny. So, it was just like, and clearly her priorities are definitely in line. And then, after that, then we're like, okay, now we'll go search the school buses. So that was just kind of cool. That made me feel good. She's just such a good girl. So it was fun. My favorite scent theory problem actually was in the marketplace. I think it was the problem that Lisa Kakavis, I believe she set this one, where there was a source on the outside, like there was a balcony, and it was on the outside of the door of a balcony. And it was an upstairs room, and there was only a partial wall on the upstairs room. And on the side where the source was, it was the cooler side of the building. And then on the other side of the room, and again, there was a partial wall, was a warmer side of the building. And to see the odor and how the dogs responded as it warmed up on the warmer side, it pulled it over there and you had a big odor pool, and then it was settling on the cooler side. And based on the way that the airflow was moving, there was actually a scent void between the door and the cool odor pool upstairs. It was one of the cooler scent theory problems I've seen in a long time. And it was just one of those things where, like, when I'm looking at this and my mind is going, right? I'm like, that was just really amazing how that worked out. I mean, just so well thought out. I was so completely impressed. And it was just one of those things where it's just like, wow, like that is some really, really sophisticated scent theory. That was probably my favorite.
Well, and it's been interesting between that seminar, between Muscatatuck, I came home and basically had about 4 or 5 days off. And then I had 2 students come in for their 10-day immersive for the Canine Handler Academy.
Yep.
Literally, it was 10 days of intentional handling and hide setting. And they're setting out problems for 4 days.
Yep.
And to watch the scent theory that happens after 4 days or 5 days, or they set something and we worked it on a Wednesday and then we let it sit again and worked it on a Friday and it rained.
Yes.
Right. And it did all of these and we had 30-mile-an-hour winds and all of this stuff.
And the heat.
And and it was ugly. And being able to watch all of those things happen, it really, really drove home to me how short set times when we're talking about certain detection dog disciplines are absolutely not doing our dogs any favors.
Agreed.
And we really need to think about that as we're starting to set out problems. I learned something that was an oh shit for me, was make sure you advocate for your dog, because if you have a dog that you think is going to do stupid stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right. Make sure you inform instructors that, you know what? No, I need to keep my dog on leash because it's going to jump. It's going to do stuff.
Yeah.
And as instructors, you learn stuff like that. So 1, that's a safety issue, is always advocate for your dog. And I think we talk about that a lot on this podcast. And so I'm going to reiterate that. One of the things that Natalie and I did, just because we were feeling cheesy and sort of squirrely, we challenged each other to a race to see whose dog could solve it faster, and then proceeded to tell us that we had to do it on lead. Let's just say Natalie and Ollie won because I kept stepping on my leash and Nico kept looking at me like I'm an idiot, which is fine. I think she beat me by like all of 20 seconds or something.
Yeah, with something like that, I was a timer.
But the question is, did everybody get all the hides?
No, I missed a hide.
Right. So what kind of penalty is that? Y'all didn't talk about it.
No, we didn't talk about it. And that's because I was rushing, right? And I wasn't doing my thorough how I would normally search. And Nico was like, why are you up my ass? Because we don't work this way.
Yeah. And a lot of the students said that too. They were like, having to do that on leash was so hard. So I love that everybody is getting pushed to do things that they need to be able to do.
Right.
And we just don't do all the time because it's not fun. It's not that it's not fun. It's just, it's hard.
Well, it's one of those things that when you're the student, when Natalie and I came up with that, I was like, oh my gosh, not only are we adding in a time constraint, but now we're adding it in on lead. I'm like, hello, nose work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
All those people were like, yeah.
They're like on leash. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And all the nosebleed people are like, well, duh.
Yeah.
And then I felt bad for the people who had to do it, and it was really muddy.
That was me. That was my group.
Was it?
Group 1. Yes. We had that morning, right? Like with all the, yes.
Where it rained. Well, and it was really, really cool because that particular station, Diana had made the request that we had burned human remains.
Oh, yes.
So, which interestingly enough, we were able to provide
Yes.
very realistic things because Joe happened to burn all of our conservation land,
166
acres, which is allowable through the Conservation Service, is absolutely allowable that you can burn it because it burns the thistle seeds. So that was the whole entire, and it kills ticks.
It didn't kill all the ticks,
but it killed a lot of them.
It killed a lot of them. And, I have to say, I'm really impressed by 511s because mine may not be waterproof, but they're fireproof.
So are my Danners.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Because
I think I need more information. You shouldn't have to know these things. You shouldn't be in the fire.
You shouldn't have to know these things. No, you should not. You're absolutely correct in that.
You shouldn't, but this is what happens when you're driving home and Stacy's like, didn't Diana want appropriate aids for Muscatatuck? And I'm like, yes. She's like, well, Joe's burning source. So instead of us creating something artificial.
Yeah, this was not artificial.
This is not artificial. We literally went out and placed things in front of the prairie fires that Joe was setting. And we'd watch it go through and then immediately...
had like natural cooling and everything. It was perfect. Actually.
And then we GPS'd it. We'd go in, we'd pick it up. I mean, within 5 minutes of the fire going through. So everything is absolutely accounted for. And then it's cooled in a controlled setting, all of that sort of stuff. But as we're going out to set the second round, Joe got he's going to kill me.
Does he listen? He doesn't listen, does he?
He doesn't listen.
No, he doesn't listen.
Okay, then you're fine.
Alfalfa. It started to burn the alfalfa.
Which he had just mowed. So he's burning his windrows.
No.
That's drying out. The dried alfalfa.
The dry alfalfa.
Brown.
So I'm calling him and I'm like, what are we supposed to do? He's like, put it out. I'm like, okay.
All right. And then when your friend goes, we have to stomp it out. And you're looking at this big prairie fire. Instead of saying,
you're not stomping out a prairie fire.
Are you effing crazy? You go, okay. And then you go over and you start stamping out fire with your 511s.
And your Danners.
It's kind of like when she said, just stand in the road and wave your arms real big. The cows are going to all come at you and they're going to turn when they get to you. I get you. I'm like, instead of saying no, I'm knocking butts. Instead, I'm like,
that's me. Like, all right, I'll stamp out the fires.
So we literally... So at one point I did call Joe and I'm like, hey, you're going to have to give us some help. And so he comes over with the skid loader.
Bring your boots.
Yeah.
He comes over with the skid loader and is like,
the boots never even melted. It was amazing. Like you wouldn't even know.
And so what happens is I show up to my chiropractor later and I'm like 2 days later, and I realize I'm wearing my fire stomping boots. I smell like a prairie fire.
Oh,
at the
chiropractor. Laundry. My hat. Oh,
yeah, it was terrible.
Okay. I'm just going to tell you, Joe was in there laughing his ass off. I just know how this played out.
Oh, yeah.
He's in there laughing that you guys are out there stomping. Like, I just know how that played out.
But we got that under control. So then what do? Let's set the rest of it on fire, right?
Oh, wait,
that was the next day, right? So we didn't learn.
You did the next, oh my.
On day one. So then let's just burn the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, because we were running up to, you can only burn past, you can't burn past this date, which I think is like May 15th or something.
Yeah. And this is like May 14th or something.
Right. And so May 14th, we're out there burning.
It was.
And so he set the rest of it on fire. And he's like, can you guys come down and watch this?
Yeah. You're like, oh man, here we go again.
Yeah. So
it was aerobic.
It was aerobic. And poor Liz Joyce, because we're like, no, Liz, we got our aerobics.
I'm like, yeah, we did aerobics. There was definitely some ab work in there, definitely a lot of leg work.
We did some things. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
that was a badge.
Long story short, I know my boots are not necessarily waterproof. I know that for a fact. Don't want to go into that, but they're fireproof.
Yes. That was actually supposed to be a post, but we got distracted.
Yeah. We do have some great selfies, though.
Yeah, we do have some pretty good selfies. But anyway.
It's been busy.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't even said what the puppies' names are that we're keeping. We talked about.
Right.
Well, we're about at the end of this one. We should do a puppy episode because there's so much that I want to hear about your puppies and how that's all going and what you're doing and how you're starting your foundations. And
he finally fell asleep. So I'm actually like good right now. I just want to like say that he's asleep.
So for everybody, actually, so Jack is now just Jack.
Jack, yeah, Jackpot, Jack.
There's other Jacks.
There's a lot of Jack permutations. I mean, he was Jackaroni and cheese today. There's
lots of
then
Jacks.
There's some more explicit
versions of Jack. Yeah, so we can do a puppy episode. Maybe we should. Actually, that's what we'll do is I'm going to create a post out on the Facebook page for people to ask questions. And we can do, plus Crystal has her bajillion questions that she wants to ask. And we'll do a puppy whelping episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Open up for questions.
Okay. We'll do. All right, ladies. Guess what? By time this airs, well, soon, actually, that's something new and exciting coming up, but we'll save that one for later. But the exciting thing is by time this goes out, Distraction Camp.
Yeah, it's coming up soon.
Is coming up. And Crystal will be in Iowa. And it's going to be fantastic.
Yep.
Yay, team. All right. Thanks, everybody, and go train.
Canine Detection Collaborative! We appreciate the time you spend with us. If you liked this episode, not only should you follow us so you don't miss the next one, but please also rate and review us in your favorite podcast app. For info on collaborating with us, go to k9detectioncollaborative.com. That's K9detectioncollaborative.com, where you can find our socials and pick up our latest monthly freebie. Join us again to talk training in the next episode.